those who ranked Clark in the 9th place.
When the CBA negotiations are going on, the owners are sitting across from the Players Association, the negotiators are in the room, they're trying to iron out things, and the owners all come together and they ask a question, they pose a question to the players, and the question's simple. Where's Caitlin Clark? Why isn't she here? And why isn't she sticking up for you ladies and advocating on your behalf? And when the Players Association, when the people in that room hear that question, they're going to be looking at each other confused, lost, and without an answer that doesn't make them look incredibly foolish. Before we get into that, as you guys know by now, WNBA All-Star captains have been announced. Team Collier versus Team Clark, the top two vote getters when it comes to fan voting. Caitlin Clark, over 1.2 million fan votes. Napheesa Collier not too far behind with 1.1 million fan votes. Aaliyah Boston was close, less than 2,000 votes away from a Team Clark versus Team Boston All-Star game experience. That would have been quite the entertainment, but instead we get Team Clark versus Team Napheesa Collier, and something that I think is getting overlooked is who's going to be coaching Caitlin Clark come the All-Star game. The head coaches for the AT&T WNBA All-Star game will be the head coaches of the two teams with the best records through games of Friday, July 4th, regardless of conference.
Cathy Engelbert didn't just leak a spreadsheet, she ripped the curtain off the WNBA's darkest secret. It was supposed to be a night of celebration, lights, cheers, a show of unity. The All-Star starters were announced, and cameras panned to smiling faces.
In the WNBA All-Star voting, we now know who the 10 starters are going to be. And we also got a peel back the curtain reveal on what the other players in the league think of Caitlin Clark. This All-Star voting told us something, and it confirms exactly what we think. The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling. I've seen some people trying to claim she shouldn't be in the game. She's tied for the league lead in assists, for crying out loud.
Is that Caitlin Clark is listed as the 9th best damn point guard in the league, and fans is pissed off about it.
But as the commissioner's press conference wrapped up in Indianapolis, something far more explosive than applause was on its way to every sports reporter's inbox. A spreadsheet, innocent on the surface, damning in reality. It didn't just show votes, it showed names. And in the middle of it, buried under the weight of professional pettiness, sat Caitlin Clark, ranked 9th among guards by her own fellow players. The same rookie who broke every voting record with 1.3 million fan clicks was shoved down like a rookie who hadn't earned a single one. But this wasn't about stats. It was about control, about ego, about envy that no league marketing campaign could mask anymore.
Paige Beckers ended up ahead of Caitlin Clark overall in the All-Star ranking, and I don't hate that necessarily. Like, I think in general that Caitlin Clark has been better than Paige when she's played, but Paige has played more. But at the same time, like, Paige Beckers has not, up to this point, Paige Beckers had missed 4 games, I think, and I think Caitlin had missed 5 games. Like, as far as I'm aware, these votes were done a few games ago, because Kiki Iriafen got 8 in the media and she got 8 in the players, and Kiki Iriafen has had 3 absolute stinkers in a row. Like, Kiki Iriafen, if you look at the stats, I'm pretty sure is below Leah Boston in essentially every stat that matters, and her team's worse than Leah Boston's team. But for me, there's no real argument to Paige over Caitlin right now. Caitlin has won more games than Paige when she's been on the floor.
Let's be clear, this wasn't a basketball decision. This wasn't players saying she hasn't earned it yet. It was something uglier, something more raw. The ballot sheet didn't read like a stat sheet. It read like a warning. Players didn't just rank her low, they tried to erase her. Her name scribbled halfway down the page, as if her very existence on the court threatened theirs. And in truth, it does. Because Clark doesn't just play basketball, she bends the gravitational pull of the sport. Jersey sales higher than entire teams. TV networks rearranging ad schedules just to catch a glimpse of her. Fans swarming gates in cities she's never played in. This isn't just a rookie rising, it's a takeover. And for those who've spent years grinding in empty arenas, watching her stardom eclipse theirs in months feels like salt in wounds they never admitted they had.
She's averaging 18 points a game. I mean, she's in a 3-game shooting downturn. All right? A 3-game shooting slump. And other than that, in the injuries, it's been business as usual for most games. And she had a triple-double this year. So let's take a look at this because we learned a lot here. And it, to me, shows that when it comes to Caitlin Clark, these players are not getting any better. I think they're locked in. They're bound and determined to hate on the Indiana Fever guard. And I think a lot of it's got to do with how popular she is with the fans and the television ratings and everything we know that they can't stand her for. It showed up in this vote. Seriously.
Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this chaos. She didn't call for a spotlight, but it found her anyway. Because every time she steps on the hardwood, the atmosphere shifts. Fever games suddenly feel like playoff battles. Nosebleed seats are selling like courtside gold. And that kind of star power, it rewrites priorities. Where once endorsements were spread thin across the league, now they funnel to one address. And that funnel isn't just about popularity, it's about influence. Players who used to be the face of Media Day now get one question. What's it like playing with or against Clark? The torch wasn't passed. It was snatched by force of will. And some can't accept that, so they lash out. Not in front of cameras, no, but in locker rooms, on ballots, in subtle plays that don't show up on highlight reels, but leave bruises all the same.
Guys, we have a lot to talk about in this one. Y'all already know. Let's head on over to X, man, because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I done missed out on in the last hour. It's just crazy how news is coming out today. I mean, news is coming out today like crazy, bro. We had the Nalissa Smith situation. Now we got the teams, the votes. So, guys, let's pull it up right now. As you guys can see right here, this is the official fan vote, man. So, Caitlin Clark received the most votes out of everybody. Y'all should have known that was coming. Last is Angel Reese. She received the least amount of votes, bro. The least amount of votes. Lexi Hall looked like she's going to be an all-star. And I think she's an all-star. I'm not 100%. But this is, and it's a fans accounted for 50% of the votes to determine the starters for the 2024 AT&T All-Star Game.
You've seen the clips, the body checks at half court, the elbows in transition, the so-called basketball plays that look more like hockey scrimmages, the podcasts where respect is questioned and media favoritism is mocked. It's all part of the same playbook. Minimize Clark's dominance by painting her as unearned. But here's what they won't say out loud. She's already past them. While others are debating her hype, she's stacking double-doubles, splashing logo threes, and leading the league in assists. Indiana, once irrelevant, is now must-watch TV. But her game isn't the only thing putting her at the center. It's the brutal economy of Clarkonomics. She draws eyes. She moves product. She fuels conversations. And in a world where money talks loudest, the league is now speaking Clark's name with reverence, even if her rivals whisper it with resentment. You think this is just hype? Look again. Every click she gets becomes a metric in a boardroom. Every vote, a talking point in marketing negotiations. 1.3 million fan votes didn't just break records, it broke the system. Because now, WNBA revenue projections are tied to one name. More Clark games, more TV money, more viewers, more sponsor interest, more relevance, higher salary caps. And here's the kicker. The same players who tried to bury her on the ballot, they're getting paid more because of her. They can downrank her on paper, but they can't outrun the zeros added to their checks courtesy of Clark's popularity. The league's CBA ties player bonuses and perks to growth, and Caitlin is the one growing everything.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game is fast approaching, and the player pool is filling up. After Caitlin Clark and Nafisi Collier was named captains on Sunday, by virtue of the most fan votes, the 8 other starters were revealed on Monday. Paige Beckers, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nneka Agumake. The latter will make her 10th All-Star appearance. And far as some of the others, guys, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Aaliyah Boston is named as starter. And Satu Sabali, having a real good season, by the way. And I probably mentioned Asia Wilson. So the reserves are up next, all right? The reserves will be announced on July 6th. So another week. Once the full player pool has been determined, Clark and Collier will draft their rosters on July 8th. Now, let's look at this next subtitle right here.
You want to know what really terrifies them? It's not just that she's great, it's that if this keeps going, they become her supporting cast. A unanimous player vote would have made her the official face of the WNBA, not just in media, but in legacy. It would have reshaped the power dynamics for a decade, so they used the only tactic left: sabotage the vote. Keep her out of the narrative. But here's the truth no one can dodge. Votes don't defend pick and rolls. They don't stop logo threes. And when the All-Star game tips off and Clark starts slicing double teams with no-look assists in front of a packed house, those ballots will feel like relics of a desperate era. Every night, the arena roars louder, every bounce of the ball, a countdown to another viral clip. The cameras don't follow her because of hype. They follow her because she delivers, over and over and over. So by the final buzzer, when the box score shows her dominance and the social feeds erupt with her highlights, there will be no denying it. Caitlin Clark wasn't just an all-star. She was the reason the all-star game mattered. The players who tried to dim her light will only illuminate how far she's come. They could have walked beside the flame. Instead, they became shadows. When the lights dim and the season ends, they won't remember who got ranked 9th. They'll remember who filled arenas, who rewrote contracts, who carried the weight of jealousy with quiet poise, and still dropped 30. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be your hero. She just kept showing up until the league had no choice but to follow. Because some players play the game, she became the game.